school. He has a little-known hobby, kayaking, that he thoroughly enjoys, and I'm sure you will hear about anytime you go to talk to him. In academics, he has a 4.56 GPA weighted, having taken all of our school's honors and AP courses, along with college-level courses. He was inducted into the National Honor Society. He has served in various leadership roles. He was the freshman class vice president. He has served as the senior class treasurer. He was a small group leader. He was junior assistant scoutmaster and assistant senior patrol leader. At his church, he has been involved every year in children's ministries. In the community, he's been an avid Boy Scout. In the future, he will be attending Wright State University, where he accepted $46,000 in scholarships from Wright State University. Our salutatorian is Colin James Toth. He has also been involved in athletics at Emmanuel in cross-country, track, and field. He has a love of photography, hiking, and hunting, and actually has served as our unofficial photographer at the school, and we are very grateful for him serving in that way. In academics, he has a 4.49 weighted GPA, having taken all of Emmanuel's AP and honors courses. He was also inducted into the National Honor Society. He has served in various leadership roles at the school, including 10th grade treasurer, senior class president, small group leader, and National Honor Society secretary. He has served in his local church, such as assisting with the provision of meals, working at a youth camp in Michigan. In the community, he has assisted the elderly multiple times and volunteered at various events. In the future, Colin will be attending Asbury University and will be majoring in communications. He has accepted over $80,000 in scholarships from Asbury University. First, we'll hear from Nick, and then we'll hear from Colin. Please put your hands together to welcome Nick Scaggs.
Good morning, fellow graduates, family, and friends. I want to take this time to congratulate my classmates in the challenges they have already accomplished, as well as encourage them in what lies ahead. I can think of no better way to do this than through a metaphor that has become very dear to my heart over the last 4 years. As you may have guessed, kayaking and the river can help explain many of life's challenges. Each river represents a broad challenge in life, and each of you are kayakers attempting to successfully navigate that river to the end. Every river is made up of countless individual trials and challenges known as rapids. While a good river guide, a teacher you might call them, can help you in learning how to navigate these rapids, it is ultimately up to you to get through them. For the past 4 years, my classmates and I have been paddling the same river together, the river of high school. While we all attempted to style the river each day, there were many times when it simply swallowed us up. Some of the rapids were rough, but when one person was in trouble, the rest of the class was there to bail them out. Now today, we have reached the takeout together, all in one piece. Additionally, as each of you continue to navigate the rapids of life, remember that God will always be with you. Isaiah 43:2 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you." Therefore, when you feel overwhelmed by the water, do not hesitate to call on the name of the Lord. He will always be there for you. Furthermore, God's will is like the current. You don't always recognize His presence, but God continues to move you in whatever direction is best. However, oftentimes we neglect that underlying strength and attempt to go in our own direction. Much like paddling against the current, actively going against God only wastes our time and energy and gets us nowhere. If you just allow God to steer you in the right direction and obey Him, the metaphorical paddling experience will be much more effective and beneficial and will result in true growth. After today, each of us will take on different rivers in new places with unfamiliar people. What lies ahead are the class fives of life. They certainly won't be easy, and and you may be scared at times, but in the end, you'll be happy for getting through whatever challenges you chose to undergo. I wish you all the best of luck throughout your journey. May your boat never crack and your line never waver. And remember, sometimes you just have to buck up and huck it.
Good morning. They told me that I had 45 minutes to speak to you guys, so you better settle in, because it's going to be a long one. I'm joking, of course, but suppose for a moment that this speech was going to be 45 minutes long. How many of you would zone out after the first 5 or 10 minutes? Probably most of you, right? In that time, I could say a lot of insightful, important things, but none of it would matter if none of you heard it. So what does this have to do with those of us who are graduating high school? We've sat through 45-minute classes all year long. But this is about far more than a long lecture. In high school, we had great opportunities to serve the Lord and learn about Him. We disciplined our minds to sit through years of classes. But in college and beyond, these opportunities will be greater, and the opportunities to serve the Lord will be immense. Great things lie ahead of this class of 2016, if only we should be disciplined enough to reach out and grab them. The word discipline, as some of my fellow Latin students may know, comes from the Latin word discipulus. A discipulus is a student, someone who is learning. Isn't that connection odd? The word discipline, which we now associate with mental fortitude and integrity, once referred specifically to students. But aren't we all students? Not just people in high school, or college, or some graduate program, but every single one of us is still learning about God. He is, after all, incomprehensible. As high school students, we have learned valuable lessons about theology, namely Mr. Dolly's 4 pillars of theology: who God is, what God does, who we are, and how we should respond. Our learning has played a role in determining what we know about the gospel. However, our knowledge also plays a role in the level of intimacy in our relationship with God. As students, we should all seek to better understand and grasp the gospel, the things into which angels long to look. Living for God, letting His word govern our hearts, is fundamental to worshiping Him. And this is not an easy task. It takes discipline. The word discipline is linked to another type of person as well, a disciple. And what does Jesus say is necessary for discipleship? In Luke 9:23, He says, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." Interestingly, to follow Jesus, there was a conditional statement. One must first take up the cross, and then they can follow Jesus. What Jesus tells us to do is almost the very definition of discipline: self-denial, self-control. As students and followers of Christ, we should discipline our hearts and minds to seek God first. Therefore, I exhort you, as we celebrate the graduation of this class of 2016, bear in mind what God has commanded for your well-being. As some of us enter college this fall, we will be faced with new temptations, but also new opportunities. As some of you return on Monday to jobs you don't enjoy, remember that the Lord has a plan for your life. Every situation you are in has a purpose. Make the most of every opportunity to witness to others, to serve, to wrestle against the devil and win because you are a child of God. As this speech comes to its conclusion, it is well under 45 minutes. But college lectures will be longer, so will nights out with friends, and days working a dead-end job. The rest of your life, though, the very rest of your days, that is hopefully a very long time. Let every day be a chance to love God and serve others, because that is a day that the Lord has made. I implore you, be disciplined. Bear the fruits of the Spirit out of love for God and gratitude for His work of grace for us. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to present some awards. The Hannah